Are there any resources that give guidance on setting Google Ads budgets? What should I use to determine this? So setting a Google Ads budget is really difficult because it really depends on, well, first of all, your practice area, your location. That's going to determine how much you have to spend. I mean, if you're doing like construction accidents in New York City, be prepared to spend like $250 a click. It's really crazy how expensive Google AdWords are. Um, so what I typically tell clients is, if you're really trying to be competitive with Google AdWords, and you're in a fairly competitive niche in a fairly competitive city, then I mean, I hate to tell you, I mean, it's like, to really make a big impact. We always recommend, I don't know, 10,000 or more, just to make sure that you're actually, getting the impressions that you need. Now, we have made it work, with clients spending, $3, $4, $5,000 a month. It's not to say it can't be done, but you don't get the volume, and you really have to focus on the quality, and really kind of cherry picking some of those keywords. If you're in a really, really competitive area, then you've got to, it's got to be several $1,000s. But I don't know about any. I mean, a lot of it is kind of like figuring out what is realistic, like what can you realistically spend. I mean, if you don't have a couple $1,000s to spend, I would probably put that money elsewhere. But some of the things you need to look at is, in terms of guidance, is you need to look at what is the average cost per click, and then you can get all this information from the from the AdWords dashboard. You can look at what's the estimated cost per click, what's the estimated cost to be in the top of the search, what's the estimated cost to be number one, and then you can look at those and then figure, okay, if we're going to get, I don't know how many, if it's $250 a click and your budget is $1,000 for the month, that means 4 clicks and you're done. And now if you have to bid $250 per click, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to spend $250 per click, but it does mean that you're going to be prepared to spend over $100 per click. So that means that maybe, if you have $1,000 budget, maybe 8 clicks, less than that, probably 6 or 7 clicks, and your budget's gone for the month. So like, you've got to kind of look at all that type of stuff. Now, one thing you can do is you can try to go for some less competitive keywords, or like one thing that I like to do with criminal defense attorneys is, I'll target the statutes, because a lot of times people will Google the statutes that they're arrested for. So we target those. But yeah, I mean, the real guidance is you got to look and see how much are people bidding, and what's it really going to cost to be competitive. Unfortunately, Google AdWords are very, very expensive. That's why we really focus on SEO and not necessarily AdWords.